If we stop emitting carbon dioxide today, climate change will not stop. Does this surprise you? Usually we focus on reducing emissions, but emissions are just one link in a chain of events which eventually lead to problems for billions of people. Another strategy is carbon dioxide removal, or CDR, and many people think it could be crucial in stopping climate change. How does CDR work? And does that mean our focus has been wrong all along? Let me explain. Quick greenhouse effect recap. Most life on Earth would not be possible without it. Greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane ensure that some of the heat from the sun stays in the atmosphere after being reflected by the surface of the Earth. When energy in equals the energy out, the Earth is in balance, resulting in a stable global temperature. It's like a jacket that keeps the Earth warm enough for the animals and humans to thrive. The problem is that factories, cars, farms and other sources emit additional greenhouse gases that accumulate in the atmosphere. This increases the stock of CO2. Basically, we're making the Earth's jacket thicker. This leads to something called radiative forcing. The same amount of energy comes in, but due to changes in the frequency of light when it's reflected, energy can't easily escape. This means the temperature on Earth is rising. The planet is big, so warming takes time. It's like when you put on your jacket, it takes some time before you feel the warmth. As for the Earth, scientists estimate that this century the temperature will rise by 4 degrees Celsius if we do nothing. This seemingly small temperature rise is a huge deal. It affects climate and weather all over the world. Sea level rise, more storms, more droughts, and more floods. Who cares? Well, maybe the billions of people living in the affected regions. This is the final part of the chain. Mass migrations of climate refugees are predicted. People forced to leave their homes with no choice but to travel to safer places, regardless of how welcome they are. Again, this begins with greenhouse gas emissions. So what if we stop them today? What happens then? Well, the emission flow disappears, and the rest of the chain eventually stops getting worse too. But it's still there. It's not enough to stop the flow. To reduce problems down chain, we also need to decrease the stock of CO2. Enter carbon dioxide removal. CDR includes any process that literally removes the CO2 from the air. If the stock of CO2 is decreased, it actually reduces the down chain effects. There are 2 general approaches: capture at the source and direct air capture. In the chimney of a fossil fuel power plant, CO2 is present in higher concentrations, so large amounts can be removed. The downside is that this only works at the source, and some of the CO2 is still released into the air. This helps to reduce emissions, but it does not eliminate them. Direct air capture is different. It can be done anywhere there is air. It can continue even after fossil fuels are no longer burned. And it also captures CO2 from non-power plant sources, like cars, ships and airplanes. Many natural processes remove CO2 from the air, such as the growth of trees and weathering of rocks. There are also man-made processes that absorb CO2 for storage, with chemicals, or sieves for molecules. However, these processes only work fast enough to counteract the rapid pace of global warming if huge swaths of land are used. Direct air capture also uses energy. Air only contains low concentrations of CO2, which must be concentrated, then pressurized. Thermodynamics says we can't do that for free. This is also why the other stronger but less common greenhouse gases, like methane, are even more expensive to remove. CDR could also be used as an excuse to continue burning fossil fuels, which degrade the environment in many other ways besides climate change. The CDR process itself also has negative effects, such as using valuable materials, fresh water, and energy. And what should we do with all this captured CO2? Unfortunately, it's mostly destined for underground storage, and nobody makes money from this, which is why businesses aren't racing to make it happen. Though recently, a company in Switzerland became the first to capture CO2 commercially and feed it to vegetables. So, it's not a golden bullet, but we need to lighten the Earth's jacket, and CDR is able to do that. To conclude, the climate change challenge is caused by a complex chain of events. Solutions can intervene anywhere in this chain. It's best to address the root causes of problems, so cutting greenhouse gas emissions is the #1 priority. But next in line is CDR, which provides an opportunity to start restoring the energy balance of Earth before it's too late. So, what do you think? Carbon dioxide removal is a difficult subject to fully understand and has many pros and cons. For this video, we simplified a lot. If you're interested or want to know more, consult the links in the description and leave your opinion in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and share so that more people can understand CDR and its role in the sustainability transition.